All right, so just a quick video. Someone in the comments asked which grease gun I used. I'll put a link in the video as well, but this is the Shell mini grease gun. I looked online, there was definitely a few different options for mini grease guns. I have some of their impact drivers and they've been fine tools, so I figured I would go with at least a brand that I've tried before. And it's been good. It came with a tube of lithium grease and not really any problems there. It does come with this tip, if I can get it to focus. It's just a very teeny tiny nozzle. I wasn't really sure if that was the right one to use or not, but it did work for everything that I needed. So the process for that is, while you're building, it's much easier to do the blocks while they're not set up. So before I put once I put them on the rails, but before I connected any of the plates, I took those nipples out. And in fact, actually mine didn't have the nipples to start with. It had little set screws, and then you remove one of the two set screws from the appropriate side. So I removed the set screw, and then I took the pointy end of the grease gun and pushed it in as hard as I could into the hole, and gave it about, it wasn't 2 full pumps, it was probably 1.5 before I started seeing grease come out the edges of the wipers. So there you can see just a little bit of grease coming out that I probably need to clean up out of the wipers. And once I had it filled, then I put that nipple back over, so that cover, and just screwed it in. And I just used a very small nut driver. I think it's a number 5 nut driver, if I'm not mistaken, but just a small one that fit on there. I did try this. This was too big, obviously, to get in some of the places. So this is the number 5. I did have a smaller nut driver as part of a PC repair kit. And I ended up using that, but you could use needle nose pliers or just anything to get onto that nut and turn it off, or to screw it back in. So I did that. Then on the ball nuts here, if I go around here, on each, where's a good one? Let's go over here, sorry. On the ball nut, there is that fitting. So that fitting is designed for this piece here, but the way this is designed, you can't make that work. It doesn't fit. There's not enough room to get that in there. So I actually ended up using, so one of two things: grease it before you attach everything. So put it in place, and before you screw everything together, put a bit of grease on there. But what I found is I forgot a couple, and with that very fine tip on the Shell gun, I'm sure others come with it as well, is if you push the, I'll just grab it here one sec. So if you take and push the head in there, you'll feel that you're moving the ball bearing that closes up that port. So if you push it in, you'll feel the ball bearing move. That's how you know you're in the right spot. And then just turn the gun a little bit to the side, either up, down, sideways, just to get around that ball, so you're not directly impacting the ball bearing. And then you can squeeze the grease in, and you can see this is the one I forgot, and I was able to get grease in there by following that. So I was worried I was going to have to take a bunch of stuff apart, but using the very fine tip that came with it, it worked okay. So keep that in mind. There are alternatives to having to take the machine apart. So hopefully that was helpful. I'll get that posted, and like I said, I'll include a link to the gun that I purchased. Thanks for your time. Thanks for the question.